You want some tips, some tricks to get the victory in your upcoming fight or just do better in sparring sessions? Today I take 5 championship tactics that I used in a world title fight in China that just work so well. Ooh, that is tasty. The team over at Broom sent me this high fiber supplement to test out. And it is designed to support weight management, digestion, and gut health in an easy and convenient way. And it is made from psyllium husk, which is a natural fiber that helps reduce bloating, supports regular bowel movements, aiding in weight management, and promoting a healthy gut microbiome. 2 of the 3 active subscribers at Broom saw a weight loss after using this for 4 weeks. But what are the benefits? And what does it actually do? Well, first, it can lower BMI and promote greater weight loss compared to diet alone. It can assist you in reducing hunger and feeling more full after meals. And it supports regular bowel movements and helps with that occasional constipation. How does it work? Very simple. Take 1 scoop, put it in a glass of water, and consume once or twice daily, and you can expect to experience results within weeks. And those may look like improved digestion, reduced bloating, and better gut health. I absolutely love the strawberry flavor that they have in this and the fact that it mixed up so well. And psyllium husk, which is their primary ingredient, is proven to support digestion and weight management. Make sure you guys click that link down below and use my promo code Gabriel Varga to save yourself up to 65%. Or you can just scan that QR code and get yourself directly to their website. All right, tactics you can implement that I have utilized myself in so many fights. And a lot of this is a self-discovery process, right? You get into your sparring rounds and you figure out what works for you. But sometimes just hearing these ideas from people who have already accomplished so much in the ring, it just gives you that spark, that idea, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try that, and then boom, it works for you. So the very first one that I want to talk about, which I utilized in this title fight in China, is to have a fast but safe start to the fight. I want you to consider this for a moment. Fighting is like a game of physical chess. Fair analogy, right? I mean, think about it. It's pretty much what it is. There's a mind battle happening. You can't just run out and be like, I'm gonna punch as hard as I can with my eyes closed. So when we come at the beginning of the fight and whatever, we touch gloves and then we start engaging, right away, it's this battle. Who can control the pace? If you walk out and you're a slow starter, but you let this guy initiate so much upon you, you've already lost control of the fight. If you're a slow starter, you've got to use footwork, you've got to use a lot of defensive techniques when they run in, but I prefer to get out and start fast and safe. And for me, that means that I have to have a few very safe combinations, a few very safe techniques that I can throw without risk or concern of getting KO'd, but at the same time, taking control of the pace, making this guy hesitant to start putting his pace on me because he's already thought, oh shoot, this guy's landed on me a couple of times already. I need to be cautious. So what type of techniques or combinations am I going to throw? Well, very often I'm going to lead with something off the jab, but I also like very safe techniques where I do something like I come from a low kick to a punch and back to a low kick while cutting an angle to the side. You'll see me do a number of techniques early in the fight, but making sure I'm staying very safe. When I do throw punch combos, very safe, hidden behind my shoulders, shoulders up close to the chin, my chin tucked to my chest, my hands very high. Taking control of the fight from the very early stages, but staying safe, is a fantastic way to get started and right away go, yes, this is going to be my fight. Tactic number 2 is to utilize the punch, which they talk about all the time being the most important one in the whole fight, the jab. Using that as a probing technique. So I'm not trying to actually land, I'm just throwing out of range. And as I'm throwing out of range, I'm doing 2 things. Number 1, I'm throwing this guy's timing off. Every time he thinks about committing forward, there's a little punch that's a couple inches from his face. And that in itself is going to interrupt whatever he's planning. Number two, it gives me a perfect rangefinder, so I know exactly where I am and exactly how much more of a step I need to take forward to land my next shot, which is going to actually connect and gonna have massive power. In this fight, I decided in this one instance to probe the jab, and then sink the cross right in. But this tactic works well for anything. It could be probing the jab a little further away to set up a big round kick, or probing up high to set up a teep to the body because they start getting scared and their hands start rising up. Use that probing jab, because once again, it allows you to dictate the pace of the fight. The next tactic, which I love utilizing, and many fighters do this incredibly well, is the cross to round kick combo. This is a great way to open up this guy's head. Now, in this clip, in this fight, my opponent just got his hand a little low. I snuck over top and I landed myself a little too low. If I would have gone up 2 or 3 inches higher to the temple, I would have had more success. So not my distance, but my placement in terms of height and level was a little off. But still, it's the same thing. I'm just outside of cross range. I show him the cross, and before rechambering, you can't rechamber because if you go 1 to 2, there's too much time in between. But when you go 1 and then straight in on sort of that half beat, this can become a deadly, deadly combination. If you're southpaw, doesn't matter. You just do it off the opposite side. And for those people out there who are great at kicking off their lead leg, you could even come from a jab to a high kick. But the main thing is we're trying to distract them to close their hands up the middle and catch them to the side of the head before they can do a proper correction. Now here's a defensive, we've been talking more about offense or controlling the pace of the fight. Here's a defensive tactic which I have utilized many times when I'm a little overwhelmed or in trouble. And this is something which you might want to add in. Anytime you're damaged, you could go to a high guard, or you could try head movement. Those are two pretty good tactics. My problem with doing them separate though is if I just do a high guard and I stand here, a lot of times you continue to just get beat up. They just keep going and going and you have trouble getting that counter in. Alternatively, if you decide, okay, I'm getting overwhelmed, drop my hands and start slipping, if for some reason you mess up, the repercussions are very negative. So what I end up doing when I'm overwhelmed is I keep the high guard, I back up a little bit, and then eventually I start moving my head with that high guard up. Now, while this makes it a little bit slow and a little clunky in terms of slipping, you are ultra safe. And all you need is for somebody to miss one, right? They're landing off your guard, and then all of a sudden, whew, they miss. When they miss, all of a sudden the next shot is going to be that much slower. And when the next shot is that much slower, then you can start getting out and recreating space. So high guard plus head movement, while it's not always a great tactic, when you're overwhelmed and you want to get back to a safe place, for me it works very well. Now from here I would like to talk about a strategy I utilized in this fight, and for me it has worked very, very well. What I ended up doing was providing loads of pressure against this guy and actually keeping my hands to my head, putting my gloves to his gloves and pushing forward a little bit so that his hands couldn't really leave his head comfortably. And then from there, what I was able to do is basically form a connection. When your hands are touching their hands, as soon as they disconnect, you know there's a threat. But if you are connected hands to hands, you know, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about this guy throwing on me. Now, I did open palm in this fight a number of times when I was in here because it gives me more distance that I can cover, as opposed to here. You can see I lose that protection because I'm putting that massive pressure. Hand was open, I push in, then when I want to disconnect, I can bang off my punches, punish him, and then get right back to here. So he's always feeling like either he's under fire from attacks or he's smothered. This is one which is difficult to do and will take lots of practice, but if you get it down, my gosh, you can just steamroll through people. The last tactic that we are talking about today, which I utilized in this world title fight, is what I call a power slide. into a low kick. What do I mean by power slide? That is when I take my lead leg, I lift it up like I'm gonna throw a front kick, but I slide forward on my standing foot. You cover distance, you put the fear of that teep into them, you drop that leg very quickly, and then you follow with, in this instance, it was a low kick, but it could be a body round kick, a high kick, it doesn't really matter. But that power slide to the kick is a beautiful fake into an attack. And more often than not, you are going to land. Very simple. You are going to land just by faking them out. Way out of range, forward. As I do that, my hands come up the middle, so there's no threat of any straight punches landing to my jaw. I put my foot down very quickly and then just launch that kick in. The only danger is overcommitting. You don't want to go and end up too jammed. So this is a matter of you practicing on your bag or whatever you have to work with and going, okay, I slide and I land at that perfect range for my low kick. Making sure you're not feeling like, oh, I'm too far away, or oh, I'm too jammed. Get really good at that power slide and landing at your perfect range so you can throw whatever technique you want. And that right there are 6 strategies which I utilize to win this belt right here and which have helped me in victory in so many other fights. Try them out, play around with them in the gym before your next sparring session, and then hopefully you'll be able to start busting these out in rounds and maybe even in your fights, which will help get you those wins. Thank you for joining, everybody. I'll see you back here very soon.